Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. I've got the Poco X3 GT 5G here. This is a $300 phone that packs a lot of punch for the money. So let's take a look, shall we? Here's the box. It says, with easy access to the Google apps you use most. Yes, it does have GMS, of course. And then in the back, there's nothing much. Nice yellow theme, yellow and black Poco theme. This is the inside of the box. Got some schmutz here, but it says Poco, and you get a SIM removal tool, and of course the usual Poco stickers and stuff. So let's check it out. So you've got a headphone jack adapter here. It's a 3.5 millimeter to USB Type-C, right? Nothing too fancy here. And then we've got some Poco stickers, which we all love to have. And then we've got a bunch of manuals. Warranty card nobody cares about. We've got the actual quick start guide, and then safety information. Nobody cares about that either. But this here is nice. It's a GPU case, so you can protect your phone the day you get it, and you know it's custom made for the phone, so it'll fit perfectly. Probably won't get too yellow too quickly because these are well made. And so that's good news. Let's have a look at that manual, shall we? And here we go. Nothing much on the first couple of pages. There's a picture right here. Dual SIM, of course. All right, so let's take a look at the phone itself. This is what we came for, right? So, flagship MediaTek Dimensity 1100 5G chip, 67 watt turbocharging, 120 Hz display. It's an IPS panel, don't get too excited. 64 megapixel triple camera, no OIS though, so don't get too excited again. Poco, all that. There's an IMEI sticker in the back, so I'll remove that in a second. Another divider. We've got this crazy charger from Xiaomi, 67 watt right there with the orange keyed USB-A connector. Very nice, very nice. And then of course it comes with a charging cable, which is gonna have Type A on one end, Type C on the other, as you can see here. Also a color key orange. Nice, nice touch. All right, so folks, let's look at the phone because that's what we came for, right? Ta-da! All right, let me remove this thing here, and then we're going to get rid of the IMEI sticker if there is one. Ta-da! Ooh, shiny, shiny, shiny. Look at that gradient of chrome to black. Very interesting. Cool camera pod as well. 64 megapixel logo there. Very shiny. I presume this is plastic because, well, at this price point, I don't really expect anything else, to be honest with you. But plastic frame looks like. I don't see any antenna bands. Let's power it up, shall we? So like a lot of Xiaomi phones, Poco is a Xiaomi brand, they have the fingerprint sensor in the power lock key, but instead of being recessed, it's actually a proper power lock key right here, which is great. You can't have an in-display. That was loud. You can't have an in-display fingerprint sensor in an IPS display like this, right? So, all right, talk about this screen. 120 Hertz, as you know already. 1080p IPS, as you know already. This is, you know, a pretty decent display, I guess. It looks pretty nice right now. But yeah, I have no complaints looking at it. The camera doesn't really give it justice. And there's a bit of a chin at the bottom, but it's not too bad. The selfie camera here is a 16 megapixel, f of a 2.5, 1 micron pixels. You know, again, nothing too crazy. Pretty much what you expect. So Dimensity 1100 on board, and the $300 version of this phone has 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. There's also a version with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, which is great. No SD card slot for expansion, so pick wisely, okay? That's something you should know about. It does have a bunch of cameras. I'll talk about them in a second, but let's walk through the edges here. We have a volume rocker on the right-hand side with a power lock key with a built-in fingerprint sensor. On the bottom, we have a speaker, a USB Type-C port, and a primary microphone. On the left-hand side here, we have the SIM slot, dual SIM, no micro SD. And on top, you got the second speaker. Yes, it has stereo speakers. an infrared transmitter, as you can see here, and the secondary microphone. This is pretty standard fare for a Poco, right? For a Xiaomi phone. So again, this is an unboxing. I'm not going to set this up or anything. But let's talk about these cameras. So there's 3 of them in the back. There's a 64 megapixel main camera, f/1.8 with 0.7 micron pixels, and it pixel bins down to 16 megapixels. Phase detect autofocus, but no OIS, all right? There's an 8 megapixel f/2.2 ultra wide with 1.12 micron pixels. And then there's a 2 megapixel macro. And honestly, I don't have too much details on the macro, but I expected not to have autofocus, which is going to be a bummer. And then, you know, we got LED flash down here. So again, pretty standard fare for a mid-range phone, you know. But I think this is kind of a well-balanced combination of specs. This has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery and 67 watt wire charging, which is pretty impressive. You don't have wireless charging, of course. You don't expect that for $300. And no headphone jack, so, you know, keep that in mind as well. But look, I'll test it out. I'll let you know on the podcast what I think of this phone. It's exciting to see phones that are this affordable with those specs. So, you know, good on Poco for making another pretty well-priced phone with really great specs. So there you go. Again, this channel is a supplement to my podcast at mobiletechpodcast.com. So please subscribe to the show. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, everywhere good podcasts can be found. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, click the little notification bell below to know when I post the next video. And most importantly, tell me in the comments here, is this a phone you'd be considering? $300, would you buy this phone? Of course, 5G probably won't work in the US, but you know, it might be worth a try. You're getting a lot for your money here. So let me know in the comments, would you buy this over something else, like say a OnePlus Nord N10 5G? Would love to know. All right, folks, that's it. Stay tuned. I'll have more unboxing soon and videos. Until then, cheers, everybody.